Now, this is the kind of question that I like to answer because it's kind of a what if, but something to just think about. If Zach had never met Fatima, would he still be chasing after Karen? I think this is a fun question, especially after doing that video about the whole Karen and Gary messing around thing. But before going further in this particular topic, make sure you take a moment to hit the thumbs up button to show you like the video. Hit subscribe as we move closer to 200,000 subscribers. I couldn't even get the words out right, but the channel's growing pretty fast. I don't know, it must be the holiday season where YouTube and advertisers are just, blowing stuff up with ads and promoting videos more than ever. But yeah, we're getting closer to 200,000 subscribers. That's great. So hit the bell icon and select all. That way you don't miss out whenever I post content on the channel. Despite the fact that I'm reviewing fewer shows now, I'm still pumping out a decent amount of content because I'm able to get things out faster. Instead of worrying about assisted living, our kind of people, I can work on sister videos and oval videos quicker. So hit the bell, hit all, and follow me on social media. Links are in the description below. Now, to be honest, the only way that I could possibly see these two not actually meeting would be if Zach never went to the chain breaker meeting. Now remember, towards the end of season 1, Miss Lisa, Karen's mother, introduced Zach to her boyfriend Chris, who pretty much was like Zach. He had a criminal record. He got out. He decided to, if I'm not mistaken, he used to work in construction, and as a result, he saw how much money people were making. The higher ups. It's like, wow, they're making a lot more money. I'm making decent money now, but it's the people who flip these buildings who actually make the money. Kind of like, in the music industry, if you watch the New Edition story where Mike Bivins figured out, like, the artists make a decent amount of money, assuming they aren't screwed by the executives above them. But the executive, the music producers and all, they're the ones who really make the money. It's like the people who are in charge. Not to say it's a pyramid scheme, but it kind of is. It's like almost every business is almost like a pyramid scheme thing when you really look at the skeleton of how the business works. But basically, yeah, it's like, the executives, they're the ones who sign the documents. They sign artists, they sign record deals, or excuse me, they make record deals for artists to sign. They're the ones with the most money. It's like the people up front, you think, oh wow, these are the stars, the celebrities, they're making a ton of money, but it's actually the people who pay them that are the rich ones. So Chris used that mindset and decided to start his own business. He was the one who was buying properties. He was the one getting workers to help, renovate houses, apartment complexes and whatnot, then sells them. He gets the biggest cut, and of course he pays his workers. Everybody goes home to a home. They got the money for a home. They got money to pay bills, get food and whatnot, so everybody wins. It's just, of course, there's a different level of success for, like, the people in the business, the person who owns it versus the people who do a lot of the labor. Hence why Zach decided, wow, since I'm making money now, let me do it myself. I'm going to buy a duplex. I'm going to rent out half of it. And I'm also going to buy properties and start my own kind of chain breaker thing. So that's great. He's able to create residual income. So that's talking about the Zach now. He made the decision to go to the chain breaker meeting. And that's how he met Fatima after she hit him in the parking lot on his bicycle. And after that, well, if they ever get married and have, look, I'm not trying to sound like, oh, Die Hard Fatima fan, why are you talking about kids and all? I'm just joking around, like, wouldn't that be something? They get married someday, they have kids. Mommy, Daddy, how did you meet each other? Well, sweetie, it was actually one day she hit me in the parking lot and she wrecked my bike. And we've been together ever since. But regardless, yeah, let's just say, for example, Zach didn't go because if I remember correctly, he was distraught. Like, he was just randomly riding his bicycle in the parking lot, but he wasn't looking where he was going because I believe this was shortly after Karen had just chose Aaron in front of it. Like, this was in front of all the ladies. The sisters were in attendance. I think they were all at Sabrina's place. Remember, this is like episode 1 or 2 of season 2. But yeah, it was Aaron and it was Zach, and Karen pretty much like, I'm choosing Aaron. And then Zach was rejected and left depressed. And then, of course, you know, after the Chainbreaker meeting, that's when he went over to the hotel and he got locked up for breaking into the hotel, starting a fight with Aaron, and then Fatima got him out. So let's say that he never met Fatima. Either he decided not to go to the Chainbreaker meeting. Maybe his talk with Chris didn't hit him. Like, we're thinking of a Zach who is still, like, you know, not going to try. You know, he's just afraid of failing. Because when you think about Fatima, despite the fact that Zach and Fatima seem to be a very good couple, when people who aren't diehard fans of them look at things closer, they realize, 'cause I did a video on this a while ago, and that's the fact that Zach really doesn't know how to be on his own. You know, it's just the fact that, of course, he's never had a woman who's really spoke positivity into his life until Fatima came around, and he's called her, you know, hey, you're my good luck charm and everything. And recently, you know, he said, I love you. I'm not saying the love isn't real, but when you think about it, it could be that, well, things have been going well for him with Fatima by his side. He doesn't want to let her go. And it just makes you wonder, well, Zach, do you really love her or do you just love being with her? It's just one of those things. Yes, he spoke about everything that she does for him in terms of like emotionally, spiritually and whatnot, believes in him. And sometimes you just know, I mean, isn't that what they say about love? Sometimes when you know, lock it down. But let's say for one reason or another, he just never met Fatima. He didn't go to the Chainbreaker meeting. Maybe instead of going to the Chainbreaker meeting, he got that because Pam was the one that told him about the fact that Karen was going to the hotel. It's like, yeah, you know, Zach, I sent some champagne and roses to the room. You could thank me later, because Pam assumed that when Karen said she was going on a date night to the hotel, that it was with Zach, not Aaron. So Pam inadvertently informed Zach of where to go, which led to him going to the hotel room. So let's say instead of calling him, if I'm not mistaken, calling him after the Chainbreaker meeting, I think that's when he knew to go, because remember, Fatima was like, hey, where can I drop you off? Drop me off at the hotel. Wait, at the hotel? You're staying there? No, yeah, something like that. So let's say that Pam calls Zach early and he kind of like ambushes them. Like, let's say instead of going to the Chainbreaker meeting, he goes to the hotel early and kind of scopes this place out and then goes in, you know, gets to the fight and whatnot, and then gets locked up. Now, recently, Zach said after Karen got him locked up, that's when he knew that he was done. He couldn't go back. But if he got locked up because he chased after Karen, attacked Aaron and whatnot, and he didn't have Fatima to bail him out, well, first of all, I don't know how the hell he would have got out there. The girls, for some reason, were egging on Karen. Karen, you need to get that man out. And it's like, why the hell should Karen be responsible for bailing out Zach when he was the one that chose to break into the room? He was the one that chose to fight with Aaron, assault him essentially, and then got locked up. That's not her fault whatsoever. So let's say maybe Danny takes pity, because remember, her thing was Zach would lose his job and whatnot. Let's say somehow one of the sisters bails him out. You know, let's just say they decide to take pity and Zach gets out of jail. I think that without a guiding light of Fatima, Zach would just be stuck on Karen. You know, like there wouldn't be that woman in his life to help him move forward, to do better for himself. I don't see it happening. It just seems like, you know, Zach was so lost. The fact that maybe because he got locked up, he was like, he could go two ways with this. Maybe Zach could say, wow, you know what? Maybe I should be done with Karen, because chasing after her, look where I'm at. I'm locked up like I usually am. So I need to change. But Fatima was the one. Who did he call? He called Fatima. If Fatima wasn't somebody he knew at the time, who could he call? Pam? Danny? I don't know. One of them, like I said, might eventually show him pity to, you know, get him out of this situation. I think Danny, depending on how much he would have been focusing on Preston at the time, might have helped him out, because remember, he did pay like what, half a month's rent or a month's rent, and she kicked him out after only a few days because he was staying with Fatima. maybe she would let him stay with her for a little while until he got on his feet. Maybe I feel like, you know, Danny would be a voice of reason as opposed to, you know, well, not really. Well, yeah, because he was with Fatima, she just noticed a difference about Zach. So I feel like Zach would probably do more of the same, where, let me put it this way, because I'm sorry if I'm speaking in circles, but I'm really trying to recite facts from season 2. Without Fatima being a guiding light, I feel like Zach would still be at the airport. He might possibly be in jail for doing something stupid again. And given the fact that he talked to Danny after he thought he lost out being on the stock, he's like, every time I try to do something, it just blows up in my face. But then Danny encouraged him, saying, well, that's the thing about you, Zach. Even though things might not always work out for you, I don't think I know anybody as determined as you are to do better. Whenever you believe in yourself, whenever you say, okay, I'm going to work on this to do this to hopefully, you know, win big in the end, you go for it. Sure, you might fall over and over, but you keep getting back up. And I mean, heck, even Karen said in the last episode, well, what? I believed in you. I encourage you, all the businesses you tried to start and this and that. So Zach isn't a quitter. He just doesn't have that many wins. He has more L's than W's. And thankfully, Tyler Perry is starting to give him some W's with, well, not to say they aren't easy W's, but still. But I do think that if Fatima wasn't around, I think Zach would still be chasing after Karen, but he might eventually begin to stop and focus on himself, because in episode 6 of the game, I think Malik said this. I actually heard this a long time ago from a dude in the barbershop. He was like, you know, it's like my daddy used to tell me, you could lose all your money chasing after women, but you won't lose your women, or you won't lose women if you chase after money. So I feel like if Zach had that epiphany moment, if it didn't come from Fatima, that is, I think things might have worked out in a way. For example, I think even without Fatima, Zach may have eventually ran into the woman at the airport who needed his assistance to get the laptop, leading to the stock tip. And well, remember, he didn't get help from Fatima with that. He was nervous about the stock, but he asked Preston for advice. And Preston simply said, well, if you have a feeling about it, if you have a gut feeling, then I say go for it. And well, I think he would have got out. He would have went good on the stock. But then again, if he never met Fatima, then that implies he never went to the Chainbreaker meeting. But that doesn't mean that if he didn't make it to the first meeting, Chris might not have called him to say, hey, Zach, I didn't see you at the meeting. Can you come to the next one? And then Zach decides to go. I think that if he didn't meet Fatima, Zach would probably chase after Karen a bit longer and then eventually decide, I need to do something for myself. So in the long run, I think he would still chase after Karen, but he would eventually die down and do something else. At least that's my opinion, because if he didn't do it himself, I feel like Danny probably would have set him straight, like, look, you just need to let it go. Pretty much I feel like Danny would be doing to Zach what she's been doing to Karen lately. Look, Karen's happy, Zach. She's with Aaron. Things are going well. Things weren't always good between you two. I work with you, because I said this before. It's almost like, you know, I feel like they have that sibling energy, but season 1, Zach and Karen definitely could have been a couple. People ship those two. It's one of those things where it's almost like, if you want to say Zach was Danny's work husband because they always kept tabs on each other. I feel like eventually she would have gotten through to Zach and he would have, you know, made a different choice and moved forward in his life. So in the long run, that's why I think about it. Zach may have tried to chase Karen for a little bit longer, but would have eventually tried something else. If he met Fatima at the next Chainbreaker meeting, that's a possibility. Maybe Fatima came to the work site and then they met there. I don't know. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. If Zach never met Fatima when he did, do you think he would still be chasing after Karen now? Thanks so much for tuning in. If you want to donate to the channel, feel free to do so on PayPal or Cash App. And with that being said, I'll talk to you soon.